Question number 12. M advances to N 5,000 on guarantee of P. The loan carries interest at 10% per annum. ये पकड़ में आ गया अभी से. देखो, M advances to N. M कौन है भाई? हमारा क्रेडिटर, पैसे दिए. एडवांसेस टू N, ये कौन हो गया? प्रिंसिपल डेटर. सम ऑफ रुपीज 5,000 ऑन गारंटी ऑफ P. तो P बन गया हमारे गारंटर. आइडेंटिफाई करना हमेशा जरूरी. द लोन कैरीज इंटरेस्ट ऑफ 10% पर मंथ, सॉरी पर एनम. पर मंथ बहुत ज्यादा हो जाएगा. Subsequently, N becomes financially embarrassed. On N's request, M reduces the interest to 6% per annum and does not sue N for 1 year after the loan becomes due. N becomes insolvent. Can M sue P? बहुत ही सीधा सीधा सा क्वेश्चन है. अगेन सेक्शन 133 विल अप्लाई. सेम क्वेश्चन हमने ऊपर भी किया था. There is a bait over here that you may fall for. The creditor does not sue the principal debtor for 1 year. तो यहाँ 137 अप्लाई हो जाएगा, राइट? बट दिस इज ऑफ नो यूज, राइट? बिकॉज द वेरिएशन इज टेकन प्लेस बिफोर. सो सेक्शन 133 अप्लाई हो जाएगा. सो सेक्शन 133 क्या बात करता है? बोर हो गए बात करते करते. वेरिएशन हो गया, ठीक है. वंस देयर इज अ वेरिएशन इन द टर्म्स ऑफ द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट वेदर बेनिफिशियल और डेट्रीमेंटल, द गारंटर इज डिस्चार्ज. सो यहाँ कोई डिस्कशन ही नहीं होगा. कैन एम सू पी? आंसर है भाई नहीं, राइट? यू कैनॉट, the creditor cannot sue the guarantor because due to variation in the terms of the contract and the understanding between the creditor and the principal debtor creating such variation without the consent of the guarantor, क्या हो गया? गारंटर डिस्चार्ज हो गया, बात खत्म. दो, अब बोलोगे हाँ सर 10% has become 6%. so in case if there is a default by the principal debtor, the guarantor's liability is reduced. beneficial या detrimental फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. 133 अप्लाई हो गया, वेरिएशन यानी नॉट लायबल, बात हो गई खत्म. कमिंग टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 13. अब पढ़ते हैं क्वेश्चन नंबर 13. उसमें क्या लिखा हुआ है? A gives to C a continuing guarantee to the extent of 5,000 for the vegetables to be supplied by C to B. पार्टीज आइडेंटिफाई कर लेते हैं पहले. A gives to C continuing guarantee, तो मिस्टर A हो गए हमारे गारंटर, C हो गए हमारे क्रेडिटर, to the extent of 5,000 for the vegetables to be supplied by C to B. तो मिस्टर B कौन है? मिस्टर B है हमारे प्रिंसिपल डेटर, ठीक है. आफ्टरवर्ड्स B became embarrassed and without knowledge of A, यानी गारंटर जी को छोड़ दिया अपन ने. B and C contract that C shall continue to supply B with vegetables for ready money and that the payments shall be applied to the then existing debts between B and C. So over here a lot of people are confused as to, sir, 133 will apply or 134 will apply. If you just try to apply a little bit of mind over here, right? If we notice that the mechanism says, the new mechanism between B and C, if you read it very carefully, I would like to highlight this one. B and C contract that C shall continue to supply B with vegetables for ready money and the payment shall be applied to the then existing debts between B and C, right? Now, is it a mechanism by which the principal debtor is discharged? If you notice, I had done a very similar example of this nature. If you go to 134, right? Any contract between creditor and principal debtor which discharges the principal debtor, then the surety is also discharged, right? और हमने यहाँ एक आपको एग्जाम्पल भी दिया था, टोटल अमाउंट, पेड अमाउंट, राइट? the discount provided, right? So if you notice this, we have done a pretty similar example of this nature, but the only thing that you need to identify when the example gets really close between 133 and 134, 133 में the variation of the contract, right, keep that in mind, keeps the contract still going, whereas in 134 it discharges the principal debtor and hence the surety is also discharged, right? So over here we have to examine as to the वेरिएशन, जो वेरिएशन दोनों में आपने देखा होगा कुछ ना कुछ अलग हो रहा है, तो 133 में वेरिएशन के बाद कॉन्ट्रैक्ट विल कंटिन्यू, 134 में द प्रिंसिपल डेटर इज डिस्चार्ज्ड. So if we examine question number 13 on the same grounds, right, it is very clearly been stated B and C contract that C shall continue to supply B with vegetables for ready money and that the payments shall be applied to the then existing debts between B and C. Now, one thing is there, the term discharge is not being used, right? Continue to supply B with vegetables, right? And on the other hand, what they are saying, and that the payment shall be applied to the then existing debts. So technically, though there is not a discharge that has happened, but there is a mechanism कि अभी आप पेमेंट देते रहो and shall be applied to the then existing debts. So there is a mechanism which is said which discharges the principal debtor on making such payment, right? So over here this kind of confusion can be eliminated by the idea that is the settlement between the parties, that is the creditor and the principal debtor, is it bringing the contract to a close, is it discharging the principal debtor? If the answer is yes, 134 will apply, right? But if it is continuing and there is merely certain terms which are changed, right, then automatically 133 will apply. So in the instant case, payments shall be applied to the then existing debts. So there is a mechanism by which the existing contract of credit supply, अगर आप देखो तो मैं यहाँ लिख देता हूँ, right, the supply is based on it's a credit based supply, right? So that will bring the contract to an end. तो ये credit contract खत्म हो जाएगा, right? So if there is a discharge, obviously section 134 will apply. So there will be very few cases which will get this close, but it's a wonderful one, right? So if by a contract between creditor and the principal debtor, if the principal debtor is discharged, the guarantor is also discharged, right? Right. So over here 134 will apply. That's why I told you the difference between 133 134. 134 में एक बार और झांक के देख लेते हैं one last time. With that 134, what does it say? 134 very clearly states that any contract between the creditor and the principal debtor which discharges the principal debtor, then the surety is also discharged, right? So the idea is very clear that if there is a settlement done or a mechanism of settlement determined between the creditor and the principal debtor such that the principal debtor would be discharged with such mechanism, then the guarantor also gets discharged. 133 में क्या है? The massive difference in 133. 133 says the terms get changed but doesn't leads to discharge. Right over here, with respect to previous debt, they have set a mechanism which would discharge our principal debtor, that is Mr. B. That's why 134 has been applied in the above case, right? Not that simple, but yes, obviously थोड़ा ज़्यादा application चाहिए यहाँ, because certain sections get pretty close to each other. Now coming to question number 14, ये थोड़ा ज़्यादा difficult है question number 14. अगर हम लोग देखें question number 14 में क्या दिया हुआ है, see the holder of an overdue bill of exchange drawn by A as a surety of B and accepted by B contracts with X to give time to B. क्या चल रहा है, right? पता नहीं क्या तो ड्रामा हो रहा है, but we have to obviously, as you would have understood by now, we have to take up an example, understand this section in detail, then and only then we would be in a position to answer it properly, right? So ये आ गई हमारी स्केल बाहर. Now this is in relation to section 136. Let's write section 136. Now what does section 136 say? When the creditor agrees with a third person or contracts with a third person to provide time to the principal debtor, then what happens to the guarantor? Then the guarantor is not discharged. Right? Then the guarantor is not discharged. Let's try and understand this with the help of an example. That's the best way to get our head around this. So let's put an example in place. Now let us say that there is one Mr. Sir. Would be wondering आज सर कैसे पहले आ गए, नहीं तो हमेशा गारंटर में आते हैं. There's one Mr. Sir, and then there is one Mr. Yash, right? And is one Mr. Rajesh. थोड़ा अजीब लगेगा आज. This is not a normal case. This generally would be noticed. What I'm discussing over here would be noticed in case of bill of exchange. So our Mr. Sir, Yash and Rajesh, we have three parties in place. Now what has happened over here? That Sir has drawn a bill on Mr. Yash. तो सर कौन बन गए? ड्रॉर. राइट. यश कौन बन गया? ड्रॉई. राइट. राजेश को भी साइड में रखते हैं. So I am the drawer, Yash is the drawee. Yash accepts the bill and gives it to me. Right. इसको थोड़ा अलग कलर में डाल देते हैं. He accepts and gives the bill to me, right? Sir endorses the bill to one Mr. Rajesh, right? Sir endorses the bill to Rajesh, right? Rajesh actually, factually, is the supplier of goods to Mr. Yash, right? लेकिन ऐसा हमने अजीब काम क्यों किया? टेक्निकली आप देखें तो ये कैसे हमने किया है यहाँ, that Mr. Rajesh supplied goods to Yash, right, but wanted to secure himself. So how did the transaction went? Sir wrote a bill on a bill of exchange on Mr. Yash. Yash gave it to Mr. Sir back. That's a draw-drawing relation that is established over here. And then Sir endorsed this bill to Mr. Rajesh. अगर आप चेक करने जाओ तो ड्यू डेट पे क्या होता है? ड्यू डेट के दिन obviously drawee has to pay, right? So Rajesh would approach drawee, right? If the drawee fails to pay, can he sue the prior endorser? Who is the prior endorser? Mr. Sir. तो टेक्निकली देखा जाए तो इफ यू हैव रेड द नेगोशिएबल इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स एक्ट, very properly, this gives you an automatic relation of guarantee, right? तो ऑटोमेटिक आपने अकाउंट्स में बहुत बार पढ़ा होगा, द बिल इज डिस्काउंटेड, राइट? तो बिल डिस्काउंटिंग क्यों किया जाता है? बिकॉज बैंक्स फील सिक्योर बिकॉज देयर आर मोर एंडोर्सर्स इन द बिल, right? And there is more than one party whom they can rely on for the final payment. यानी लेयर्स ऑफ सिक्योरिटी बन जाती है बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज के अंदर, जो आपको दूसरे इंस्ट्रूमेंट में नजर नहीं आता. दैट्स व्हाई उसकी डिस्काउंटिंग ज्यादा होती है. दैट इज वन थिंग. दैट्स व्हाई यू ऑलवेज विटनेस इन अकाउंट्स की जो अपना बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज का डिस्काउंटिंग बहुत कॉमन होता है, राइट? ठीक है. तो नेगोशिएबल इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स एक्ट का भी थोड़ा यहाँ रेफरेंस लेते हुए आगे बढ़ते हैं. राइट नाउ व्हाट हैज हैपेंड इज Mr. Rajesh further endorsed this bill to one Mr. Kumar, right? Now टेक्निकली देखा जाए तो मिस्टर राजेश है क्रेडिटर सप्लायर ऑफ द गुड्स, मिस्टर यश है प्रिंसिपल डेटर, और सर क्या बन गए? देखा, फिर से बन गया बकरा, गारंटर, राइट? सो माय रोल प्रैक्टिकली डजंट चेंज, मैं गारंटर बन गया. और यहाँ मिस्टर कुमार कौन है भाई? ही इज अ थर्ड पार्टी. Now what has happened over here, that if Mr. Kumar and Mr. Rajesh, that is the creditor and the third party, enter into an understanding wherein Rajesh and Kumar agree, and Kumar says on the maturity date I will not sue, yani I will forbear, right? So if Mr. Kumar avoids or forbears suing Mr. Yash due to an understanding between Rajesh and Mr. Kumar, is the guarantor discharged? The answer is no. The guarantor is not discharged. Right, the guarantor is not discharged. Now why we are studying this? Because we studied 135, right? What does 135 say? If you just rush to section number 135, here we come, right? 135 says promise not to sue. So if there is any contract or understanding between the principal debtor and the creditor, फिर से एक बार मार्क कर लेते हैं यहाँ, चलिए हाईलाइट कर देता हूँ, principal debtor and the creditor, right? Then the guarantor is discharged. लेकिन 136 क्या बोल रहा है? If the चक्कर is little different, right? 136 says that when the creditor contracts with a third person and not the principal debtor, mind you, to provide time to the principal debtor, then the guarantor is not discharged, right? So it can be understood only by mechanism of bill of exchange, right? once let me rush through this contract. So technically sir over here draws a bill on Mr. Yash, right? Yash gives the bill back after accepting the bill to sir. Sir hands it over to Mr. Rajesh. So Rajesh has got a guarantee that Yash will pay on the due date. In case no, he can sue the prior endorsee Mr. Sir on this bill, and Sir automatically works as a guarantor under the Negotiable Instruments Act 1883. आ रही बात समझ? राइट अगर आगे बढ़े थोड़ा, तो राजेश ने बिल किसको पास कर दिया? कुमार को दे दिया, ठीक है, एंडोर्समेंट कर दिया, और लेटर ऑन बिफोर द ड्यू डेट प्रिंसिपल डेटर को बचाने के लिए Mr. Rajesh and Mr. Kumar and entered into an understanding that though the bill has become due, Mr. Kumar will not proceed against the drawee, which is technically his legal right. Then the guarantor comes to know about this. Guarantor says, I am discharged. 136 says, no, Mr. You are not discharged because the understanding is between the third party and the creditor and not between the principal debtor and the creditor, right? Wonderful section, wonderful section, right? Now if I just rush on to focus on the question that we are working on, right? See the holder of an overdue bill, तो इस पे आ जाते हैं, right? तो सी द होल्डर ऑफ एन overdue bill, तो यहाँ की ये कौन है मिस्टर? ये थर्ड पार्टी है भाई, होल्डर ऑफ द बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज ड्रॉन बाय ए, ये कौन है? गारंटर है। एज ए श्योरिटी फॉर बी, कौन है? प्रिंसिपल डेटर है, एंड एक्सेप्टेड बाय बी, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स विद एक्स, एक्स कौन है? राइट, इफ यू जस्ट ट्राई टू अप्लाई लिटिल, थोड़ा ब्रेन अप्लाई करें, तो क्या? क्रेडिटर, हमारा सेम केस वहां कॉपी पेस्ट हो गया, टू गिव टाइम टू बी। सो टेक्निकली सी and X have entered into understanding to give time to B. Is A discharged from his liability? Answer है सीधा 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 no. A is not discharged from his liability. Now this is a wonderful applicability of section 136 भैया,